If you're anything like me, you'll love your seasonal pots, but this is quite a tricky time of the year. It's too early in the year to start planting pelargoniums and all the summer things because we're still getting these cold spring nights. So what I tend to do is I often do a little bit of an interim pot, and I'll use things that I'm quite happy to then put in the garden. So things that are shrubs and more herbaceous plants, hardier things, including this convolvulus. This is actually a bindweed, would you believe? Look at those flowers, you can kind of see it is. This will grow quite happily in my sunny south-facing garden when I plant it as a shrub, but I'm quite happy to have it in a pot for a few weeks, just waiting for the rest of the bedding to come into season. And another one that's also really good for this sort of thing is this scabious. Now this is a herbaceous plant, quite happy in the border, but equally happy for a short term in a pot. And I thought it was going to go really rather well with this convolvulus. So in it goes. This is the butterfly plant, and you can see why, because it really does attract butterflies with all these little lovely little nectarous flowers, and bees as well. And then because I've got a few spaces to fill in, a few gaps, I've got some slightly composty but very pretty little violas. This is just a little tray of mixed violas, not too expensive, really very fragrant. Beautiful little plants, and I'm just going to use a few of these just to fill in these gaps around the front. I thought that these colours looked particularly good. So I've just got a couple more violas to pop in here, and that will probably be pretty much it really. Keep it nice and simple, and I've got another one in this colour, and that's just as well. I think that's going to be full, because that is the last one I've got in these colours, which I think go rather well with the other plants. Doing the window box for the front of my house is a completely different matter. The front of my house is north facing, so it's shady and dark most of the time, especially in the winter. But one thing that will really love it is this fern. I love growing ferns, and they look great in window boxes. I'll probably keep this one in this window box all summer long. And in fact, I wouldn't be too surprised if I'm popping a few daffodil bulbs in it in the autumn and seeing it all the way through into this time next year. And then the fern will probably be getting a bit pot bound, and I can take it out, plant it in the garden. Another real shade lover is this one. This is a little epimedium, great for ground cover underneath other plants, and I will probably put it underneath my cherry tree later on in the year. But for the meantime, it's going in here. Look at those dainty little, tiny little flowers and lovely little heart-shaped leaves. So real pretty little star. I like making my window boxes asymmetrical. I don't like symmetrical, where you have something in the middle and then other little things around it. So I'd rather have a couple of big statement plants at either end like that. And then the other thing I'm going to use is this, one of my spring stars, this little plant. This is actually a little bulb, and it's called anemone. And it has these lovely blue and white flowers, which I think will blend really well. It's one of those plants that's happy in sun or shade, so it's a real winner. And after this season, it can go out into the garden, where it can live happily with the other anemones that I've already got. I've got a couple more little things here that I might use. I haven't quite decided yet. Shall I put these aquiledias in? What do you think? Or I could go for a little bit of sweet woodruff, which is a very nice little foliage plant. Or I could just keep it simple and go for a few more violas. I've got that lovely little icy blue one, which would probably do rather well. I think I'm going to do a little bit of a mixture. I'm going to pop this aquilegia in. It's a little dwarf columbine, which is happy again in sun or shade, so it makes it very, very forgiving. Quite a nice, pretty little plant for a rock garden or something like that. And I think I'm just going to finish off picking up that blue theme, a little bit more compost just to get the height up. I'm just going to finish off with this little ice blue viola. And a little bit more compost just to fill in that gap. And then I'm going to put it in situ and give it a jolly good water.